Hey, 2 weeks left. What's up? Is a culture detective here investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to be doing an album review on the new Panopticon album, The Rime of Memory. So, Panopticon Kentucky is a Kentucky black metal musician, and it's actually one person. I've always thought that Panopticon is a whole band, but no, it's actually just one person by the name of Austin Lunn. And a couple years ago, he released the album And Again Into the Light, which is an atmospheric black metal album that fuses genres like Americana and folk together, turning into something that is certainly aggressive, but also at the same time very sentimental and tragic and beautiful, and is truly one of the more special black metal albums I've heard around that time. And now we have a new album from him, The Rime of Memory. And this album takes an interesting turn because right off the bat, as you can probably tell in the intro track, it's titled I Erindringens Huslige. So this is an intro track, and the title is in Danish, and it is a 2-minute long intro track with brooding strings, dreary pianos, and fiddles and banjos that have a very strong medieval feel to it. Right off the bat, this is already really different from his last album because suddenly I feel like I'm being transported into something Scandinavian, maybe even the Viking era. Like, this track has a very strong Viking vibe to it. It's like a black metal album about Vikings, essentially. So that is really cool. But now we enter the first actual track, Winter's Ghost, which is a 20-minute long track with a very cinematic, sad opening, weeping strings that slowly climb to a climax. We have blast beats and screams after it reaches its climax around 8 minutes into the track, but I think the build-up is even better than the climax itself. It's the building of the tension, it's the tragedy of it that really makes it so dramatic. And then we have the climax of the track. It's pretty much meat and potatoes black metal. We have blast beats and screams. It is completely drenched in reverb, which usually I'm not a huge fan of, but in this case it really helps build the mood of the album. And then it sort of ends off with choir vocals and church bells. It slows down and explodes and slows down and explodes again and again and again, and it's certainly a hell of a ride for a track. Afterwards, we have Cedar Skeletons, which is much more aggressive of a follow-up. We have these constantly changing chords and the guitar breakdown in the middle, which keeps this track from being boring. And overall, I guess it does turn into something interesting. And Autumn Storm is another track that I really like on the album. This track is incredibly disorienting with layers of droning guitars that sound really dreary and wintry and snowy, just like the album cover sort of depicts. And then it sort of crashes into the end of the track where we have dejected, detuned strings and accordions at the end, which is definitely a very strong ending to the track. Then we have Enduring the Snow Drought, which again we have more imagery of snow and death and the north, and this is easily the most conventional track on the entire album with the soaring righteous guitars and the banging bells. Even so, it's not bad. And then the album ends off with The Blue Against the White, which has a surprisingly folky opening with guitars and simple drums, some plain vocals as well. I didn't take too much time digging into the lyrics, but what I can say is that the vocal harmonies are pretty beautiful. Then we are entered with these blast beats and distorted guitars that are so layered and reverby, it basically turns into pure white noise. But then through all these white noise, you get these tragic strings, these violins and cellos that sort of seep in, and it becomes a very beautiful and heavenly piece of music, and then it just ends off very beautifully and in a very drony way. So yeah, overall this album is fantastic. It is another fantastic black metal album. Sure, I'm not like an expert in metal or black metal particularly, but it is black metal albums like these that make black metal an interesting genre. It's the blending of multiple genres, and it's the use of accordions and bells over this album. So yeah, I'm feeling a light 8 out of 10. So have you listened to the new Panopticon album? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.